So if you've been with us, we've been going through this great book by Keith Folse, Keys to Teaching Grammar to English Language Learners. So we are working our way through the 20 frequently asked or hot seat questions, and we have made it all the way to question 15. So this is pretty straightforward. It covers gonna and informal language, so not formal. That prefix in means not most of the time. Can't think of any exceptions off the top of my head. So the question is like, is using gonna okay? How do I use it? Because students will come in and having heard this on the streets, in social media, at their workplaces, just in fast speech from native speakers and advanced English learners alike. So what Mr. Folse recommends, and is probably for the better, just don't use this in formal writing. So if you're applying for a job or writing a memoir, unless you're directly quoting someone. But you can use it in speech, but don't use it in a job interview, just like you wouldn't use it to write a cover letter for a job. So, and it's good to tell students or to understand that it is a reduction, almost like a contraction, but even less formal than that, of going to. Same with wanna, is a reduced form of want to. And then you can ask students or brainstorm yourself lists of other words you think may fit the pattern. So here's a good question though, can you substitute gonna for every instance where you see going to? So I'm going to watch TV tonight versus I'm going to the beach for break. So I'm gonna watch TV. I'm gonna to the beach. So the second one, if you're astute / I'm not moving too fast for you. The second one, I'm gonna to the beach, is not correct because we're going to a location. To in that case is the preposition, and it cannot be dropped because where are we going to? To the beach. So gonna is followed by a verb, never a location. So to what? To watch. To where? The beach. So that's just a simple hard and fast rule. Other examples of informal language slang. Here's just an internet funny that I found. It's from a while ago. I always think about it and chuckle. And then just an example of fast versus slow speech, because gonna is like faster, more informal speech. So moving on to question 16. Hold on, gotta move my face. Oh, look, it fits so well. Okay. So, present perfect tense. Have you ever eaten goat? So why are we using present perfect, which is have eaten, to talk about the past? Like, have you ever? Like, have you ever before eaten goat? This is a question maybe from intermediate to high intermediate students. So the form of present perfect tense is have or has, plus the past participle of the main verb. So again, identifying that main or root verb, and then being able to derive or figure out which participle you need, whether it be present or past. So the present perfect tense in English does three things, and this is actually a special and pretty complicated tense in English. So it covers the continuing past of like, I have lived here since 2004, and so it's an action that started in the past and it continues until now. I have been studying French since I was a little tiny baby, and I'm still not fluent because I was a stubborn baby. Infant, child, toddler, more like a toddler. Anyways, the indefinite past, moving on. So I have lived in two big cities, an action that took place in the past, but the time isn't necessarily mentioned. It doesn't need to be mentioned. So like it could continue into the present, it could not. So indefinite past, and then the past to present connection. I have I have lived in an apartment, but I wouldn't want to move back to one. So indefinite action that took place in the past, but it's relative to the present, present conversation, present situation, present context, present time. So the question about eating a goat falls into the indefinite past because you may have or you may not have. So that is the present perfect tense for have ever eaten. This one is, gotta move my face again. So question 17, the possessive forms. This is something that is tricky for native speakers as well, because when you hear it, when it's spoken out loud, it's hard. You can't really tell the difference. You don't know where the apostrophe is supposed to go before or after the S of the word. So I believe our example sentence would be like, the boys' grades improved. The boys' grades improved. You don't know which one I'm saying. Is it like this one boy, his boy apostrophe S, his grades improved, or all the boys, like their grades improved? The boys, group of boys, apostrophe S, their grades improved. So the difference between, excuse me, which is correct, boys or boys? Again, you cannot hear a difference as I'm speaking. So, difference between singular and plural possessive, both are correct depending on the situation. So, both are correct as in, like, if you hear boys, boys or boys, well, either is correct because you don't know which one. Anyways, it's tricky since they're pronounced the same, as we've said multiple times. All the boys' grades improved. That's like a class or a group of boys. My boys' grades improved. Like, oh, I'm so proud of my son. So the shortcut test is to omit the apostrophe and delete everything to the right to find the real owner. So the children's kitten, a kitten of the two children. So we take the apostrophe out and omit everything to the right, it says. So delete anything on this side. And what's left is the owner, the children. So is it children apostrophe S kitten or children's kitten? So children's kitten versus the children's kitten. So apostrophe S or S apostrophe. So deleting the apostrophe and everything reveals that children is the real English word, thus the correct form is versus children's. So children, childrens, is not a word as far as I'm aware. So that's how you know that's not the right answer, because children is already a plural noun in and of itself. So that was more confusing than it had to be. That was a bad example with a plural noun. But what you basically need to know and teach your students is the S apostrophe S group of boys or boys, and then work with plural or irregular plural nouns later down the road. So, and we're going to cover this one in a next video because I'm trying to keep these under 10 minutes. So.